This is Joynews Today with me, Kemini Nyamani Amano. Health experts are worried that men between the ages of 20 and 30 are increasingly prone to erectile dysfunction. The trend has been attributed largely to over-reliance on aphrodisiacs. Etunam Say has the rest of the story.
Erectile dysfunction is a common type of male sexual weakness. It is when a man has trouble getting or keeping an erection. Erectile dysfunction becomes more common as you get older. However, health experts are worried the trend is changing, with youth between the age of 20 and 30 presenting such cases.
The latest sad one that I got was from a young man who came saying that he realized that he cannot have an erection because he has realized that he went to use some aphrodisiac, because his friends told him that if you use this, I won't mention the name of the aphrodisiac, but these things are on the market and people are using them anyhow. So on examination, I realized that part of the penis, even when he's not erect, part is soft, the back, the latter end is soft, the anterior end is soft, but in the middle it's hardened. So he said that he realized that he cannot just get it on. The reason being that I'm sure whatever aphrodisiac he took might have caused blood to overflow into his veins in the, or his blood vessels in the penis, and then has caused rupture of blood, so that the blood is now ruptured into spaces and is causing the clot over there to become hardened. So now, even when he wants to have an erection, it is not coming in.
Health experts are worried cases being presented are not due to aging. Erectile dysfunction can be a sign of health problems. It may mean clogging of blood vessels or a nerve damage from diabetes. Mame, who sells herbal medication here at Kokompe in Accra, says most men who suffer from erectile dysfunction come to her for help.
Waste and power. They are trying different. Say, Bruno, the idea kind of friend or Kraman Koti. Mayunia 20 Erinyankwa da debisi ene ebi nso ye frɛ no odi esia ena afi ba ku nso okumankra kakra awom okumankra ene eduru bi afrɛ no eduru kokoo ene okanto na yen pede oba yen nkyɛn a yemfa nsa
Doctors are also worried eating habits indirectly can result in the medical condition. Health experts recommend immediate reporting of cases for proper diagnosis and treatment. Etunam Say, Joynews.
A suspected member of a robbery gang has been shot dead by police in the Ashanti region in the Juso-Drabing municipality. The robbers mounted barrier at a section of the Bonre-Drabing road in an attempt to rob passengers in the early hours of Thursday. Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
The deceased, who is a Fulani, exchanged gunshots with the patrol team. Others in the robbery gang managed to escape. The robbers blocked the Bonre-Drabing road in an attempt to rob passengers. The Ashanti Regional Police Commander DCOP Augustine Jenin said a patrol team in the area stormed the scene to stop the intended robbery. Some used live cartridges and a knife were retrieved from the deceased. The Regional Police Commander appealed to the general public to offer information that would lead to the arrest of those who escaped. The police also assured residents in the region they will continue to protect them and fight crime. In another development, DCOP Augustine Jenin cleared the air on recent media reports of the kidnap of a 17-year-old girl.
We have been able to get the girl. I can tell you, she was not kidnapped. She went to the boyfriend. Because initially, when we contacted the father told us that she doesn't believe, because they were demanding the usual ransom, 3,000 Ghana cedis. And then we realized that, from the information available to us, the girl has not been kidnapped. one who takes care of a girl here, said that when they vacated, and he was expecting the girl home, the girl said that, hey, we are doing some all-night prayers, and then there's a carol night, so she's not coming home. She will come home the next morning. The next morning, he was waiting, the girl was not coming. Then later on, when he called, the girl said that, look, a vehicle brought us from school, so I've already boarded a Metro Mass bus, and I'm going. I said, but you have things with me, you should have come home to take them. Anyway, then after some time, he said he has been kidnapped. And when he was asked, you told me you were on Metro Mass going, so were you kidnapped in the Metro Mass or where? I said, oh, when I got to the Metro Mass.
The people of Budu and the Tyne districts of the Bunahafo region have blamed the poor security situation in the area to the deplorable nature of the police station. They argue police personnel have refused persons to the area. Because of this, it is believed a senior police officer was murdered in cold blood by a complainant at the police station.
Until the untimely death of its station officer, the Budu police station had only 3 policemen serving a population of over 15,000. Police personnel have refused posting there due to inadequate accommodation. The walls of the Budu police station have developed serious cracks. Our cameras captured these bicycles behind the counter in the charge office, serving as the only means of transport for these officers. This is the only writing desk in the charge office. The news team was told the ceiling of the building leaks badly during the rainy season. This small dark room serves as a cell. Interestingly, this building is also the home of the 3 policemen who serve here. The assembly member for the Lawage electoral area, where the police station is situated, George Donko, said he has made several appeals to the Tyne District Assembly to have the station rehabilitated, but has not been successful.
MCW the assembly they can want some baby they are but and I work on because I didn't and say ya aban so enye den o man animre enti de Mr. Aban say o modin biara say sabre ya ekwo nyina o modin besi barracks bi maye say be ya and I be din kankan no say dan no doso a police ni bi obeba ha bia no de ani je na eden na eba na mom say obana say oni ba bi obetena na je say akwai problem enti e be sra ban no say o modin na onye den o mesi sa dan no maye.
The Bunahafo Regional Police Commander, ACP Patrick Eduse Sapong, admitted poor state of the police station and assured that his administration will take immediate action to improve conditions there.
Captain retired Nkrabea Ifadate, an aspiring General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, has said the party's decisions and indecisions in 2014, which determined its fate in the 2016 general elections. He opines that 2014 is a crucial period for the NPP since it was a time for the party to elect its regional and national executive members to machinate it to victory. He says the caliber of persons we elect as constituency, regional and national executive members of the party this year will indicate if we can recapture power from the ruling National Democratic Congress in 2016 or not. Captain retired Nkrabea Ifadate is here with me in the studio. We'll continue this conversation briefly. Thanks for joining us and Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Absolutely. How critical is leadership to recapturing power in 2016 for the MPP?
First of all, let me wish your viewers a Happy New Year. But having said that, let me say that, you know, without leadership, without effective leadership, without good organizers, without effective control and command of the electoral process, a political party can never win an election. It's basic, fundamentally, throughout the world.
In other words, over the past 8 years, the NPP hasn't been able to recapture power?
I'll put the blame squarely on leadership.
I see. How's that? On the outside, we've seen the NPP make a lot of strides, but how would you put the blame on the leadership? What went wrong?
No, you see, if you look at 2008 and especially 2012, the caliber of our presidential candidate, the message that he put across, the policies and our manifesto, and if you look at the way we organized the campaign, in fact, there was absolutely no reason why we lost. But we did, partly and mainly because on election day, the entire process where people go to cast their ballots, where the ballot papers are counted, and where the results are transmitted to the Electoral Commission for OMO declaration, these key processes ought to have been monitored seriously by the second and the minute and the hour. If we had done that, NPP would be in power today. And
you want to be General Secretary for the party now?
Yes, by the grace of God, true. I want to be the new Patriotic Party General Secretary, yes.
And what are you bringing aboard? You will be going against the incumbent.
What I'm bringing on board is that, in the first place, as General Secretary of the party, my main assignment would be to strengthen the party machinery. And when I say strengthen the party machinery, I'm talking about a situation where all our elected leaders from the polling station, constituency, regional and national, everybody is doing what he ought to do, what he was elected to do. I had a very interesting experience in Brekum when I was a parliamentary candidate. I worked with my elected executives. We met together regularly and planned the campaign, and we won massively, hands down. So as General Secretary of the new Patriotic Party, my first major preoccupation would be to empower all elected members, all elected leaders of the party structure at all levels, so that they would move and work and produce and deliver the party to power. That's my first occupation. The second one would be to ensure and instill into the party machinery the principle of alert and win, absolute vigilance. From the very moment when the Electoral Commission announces that they are opening the voters' register, then the exhibition of the voters' register, and then the day of the polling, the election day itself, the caliber of persons that every polling station will put at the polling station as our polling agents, and the supervision and the control of the electoral process that day, alert and win. I will make sure that MPP, just like we did in Brekum, when I was a parliamentary candidate, will do just that. And if I have no doubt in my mind that if we do what has to be done, MPP will come back to power.
Why does Captain think he stands a chance?
Captain thinks he stands a chance because, by the grace of God, I was a soldier, and I have that military background, and that makes me have that posture of someone who is coming to make sure that National Executive Committee decisions are implemented to the letter. I cannot accept a situation where National Executive Committee takes a decision that we should send resources or logistics to a particular polling station deep down the villages and it never gets there. I can't accept any excuse like that. Captain stands the chance also because, by the grace of God, I have won elections twice in Brekum in a general election. So I have a thorough hands-on experience with the process of general elections. So I have no doubt in my mind that doing it again will have no problem. Thirdly, Captain stands a chance because, by the grace of God, I worked with the police when I was Deputy Minister for the Interior. And so I have close links with all policemen throughout Ghana because I was one time their boss. And so the process of intimidating MPP members will arise arise. And then, of course, by the grace of God, I'm a lawyer. I go to court every blessed day. Of course, today I didn't go because we are on holiday. The High Court is on break. But I go to court regularly. So I want to empower all members of New Patriotic Party nationwide that they should do what is right and make sure that they should be very vigilant. If any trouble comes, by the grace of God, myself and the legal team will go to court and save them and protect them from any harm. So with all this, I have no doubt in my mind, madam, that if we are alert, we would win the elections. And on that principle, where I am coming at a situation where I do not want the party to be sidelined. Those who have spent money, time and effort to fight to be elected as constituency leaders, regional leaders, and national leaders, I don't want them to be sidelined. I don't want them to be marginalized. And in fact, it is on record that each of the MPP members of parliament who used the party machinery, who used the party elected executives to fight the election, they all won their seats. And what this means is that we must not sideline the party. We must not marginalize the party. We must use the party machinery from the polling station, the constituency, the regional and the national at every level.
But how can you do that when the issue of unity, disunity rather, has popped up too many times when the MPP is mentioned? What role do you hope to play in that?
This gives me the opportunity to say that 4 years ago, I contested this position. I lost because at that time, the party was polarized into two major camps, two major factions. But now, the message all over, I've visited so many constituencies, and in fact, I have been around the whole country, and all MPP members are saying that this factionalism, this camp business is destroying our party. So now what we are looking for are candidates who will unify the party. And I am one, because Ghanaians know, and especially in the circles of the New Patriotic Party, they know that a Fadate's camp is New Patriotic Party. And I can work with anybody. And of course, if you're a good leader, you should be able to work with anybody. If that person, all you need to do is to attend meetings, take minutes, and carry out decisions of the meeting. And that is what I've been trained for. And that's what I've done all my life. So I will unify the party. And once the party is unified, and the party is a strong machinery, I have no doubt that whoever emerges as our presidential candidate will be brought to Flagstaff House as the new president of Ghana.
I see. Now, the NPP experienced some challenges during this constituency elections. You had a bit of a legal tussle with some areas. What's your take on that?
Yes, and that is unfortunate. Most unfortunate and also most unexpected, because we are a democratic party. We are having an election. For instance, this next on 25th of January, we are going to have regional elections. Anybody who is a qualified member of the party and wants to contest should be given access to the forms, the nomination forms, sign, fill them, you'll be vetted, and you put yourself available for election. We are going to do the same for the national office. Now, when you truncate the process, when you create the impression that you want to monopolize the forms, when you create the impression that you have certain selected special chaps that you want them to stand to win so they can vote for you, then these difficulties arise. And when you go down or when you go behind all the controversies, you will realize that it is because in some constituencies or some polling stations, people were trying to manipulate the system that led to all these controversies.
And these are internal elections people are trying to manipulate.
Well, of course, it's a human society. And NPP is not made up of angels, no seats. We have our badness here and there.
We do know it's a human institution, but at the smaller level, when this happens, you then worry about the bigger stage.
That is so, and in fact, that is one reason why Nkrabea has to become the general secretary, because under my watch, this type of thing won't happen.
Let's wrap up with this. What should delegates look out for when they are voting out their executives? Since leadership is very crucial to winning the party, what should they look out for in the people they are going to be voting for?
When you are going to vote or when you are going to cast your vote, I agree that it's a human institution. But that notwithstanding, the question you must ask yourself is that, who should I vote for to become General Secretary of NPP? Who can deliver the party into political power? That is one major factor. Look at the person's personality. Is he humble? Is he arrogant? Is he knowledgeable? Is he experienced? Is he someone who can be approached? Is he someone who has done the work before? Is this someone who can deliver results? What is his track record, both potential and practical? I mean, these are the factors you must look for. And of course, you must also look for his own upbringing, his educational background. By God's grace, I'm a lawyer.
So is John. He's a lawyer as well.
Well, I go to court.
We'll leave it here. We'll leave it here, Captain. Thank you very much. Captain retired Nkrabea Fadate is an aspiring General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. We've been talking to him on his bid to become General Secretary for the NPP. Let's move on to the Northern Region. And the Regional Security Council has assured the people of DAGBON of adequate security for this year's DAMBA festival. Close to a decade after the murder of overlord of DAGBON, Yana Yakubu Andane, and 40 others in the DAGBON chieftaincy dispute, there has been disagreement over the celebration of the DAMBA festival.
Communique was issued by the Northern Regional Security Council in Tamale after a meeting with some prominent chiefs representing the Abudus and Andanis. The prominent chiefs also resolved to celebrate this year's DAMBA festival at the Gbewa Palace in Yendi as a first step in seeking lasting peace in the area. The Northern Regional Minister and Chairman of RECSEC, Bid Ziding, read the communique.
RECSEC will ensure adequate security arrangements are made to ensure that all celebrate the festival peacefully at the festival. 3. DAMBA should take place only at the traditional palaces in DAGBON. Then 4, that no place anywhere should have the intention of being climax except at the Bela.
There were exchanges from all sides on the customs and tradition, while the Kampakuyana, the regent of DAGBON, welcomed all citizens to celebrate the festival. The meeting also took cognizance of the indication of Bolin Lana, head of the Abudu Gate, in his letter to the RECSEC, indicating the willingness to lead his followers to celebrate the festival at the Gbewa Palace if adequate security measures would be provided to ensure peace. The meeting also appreciated the various concerns expressed on the need for a permanent and lasting peace in DAGBON and the importance of working towards achieving that goal. The 4-point communique added that this year's DAMBA festival would only be celebrated in Yendi and at the Gbewa Palace, and that RECSEC would ensure that adequate security arrangements were provided to interested persons and groups to celebrate the festival peacefully. It said rehearsals leading to the celebration should take place only at traditionally designated places in DAGBON, and that no rehearsal should have the intention of being climaxed at those places but at the Gbewa Palace.
Trades and Industry Ministry lifts ban on the importation of rice through the country's borders. I'll tell you why when I return. Don't go away. Welcome back to News Today. The Ministry of Trade and Industry has lifted the ban on importation of rice through the country's borders. The decision was taken after the ministry considered a petition received from the Ghana Ivory Coast rice importers to enable them clear the commodity. A statement signed by the Acting Director of Communication and Public Affairs at the ministry, Nana Akrasi Sapong. The lifting of the ban would assist importers who have made financial commitments or advanced payments for rice from their suppliers abroad. The Trade Ministry served notice to importers of rice in October 2013, stating that with effect from 1st November 2013, in the notice, all imports of rice shall be done through only the Kotika International Airport, Tema and Takoradi ports. The ministry's directive, among other things, warns that importation of rice through all land frontiers shall be illegal, and any person who imports rice through any port other than the declared ones commits an offence that shall be prosecuted, and in addition have such imports confiscated. SNIT pensioners have expressed joy at the 100% increment in minimum pensions announced by SNIT in a press release. The 100%, however, applies to only those who receive less than 200 cedis as pension. Meanwhile, life certificate renewal by pensioners, which is done twice annually, has also been reviewed. There's more in the following report.
Says all pensions shall be raised by an overall indexation rate of 20%, which will be implemented through a 10% pension increment plus a flat amount of 9 cedis 62 pesos across the board. But the minimum allowance has been increased from 100 cedis to 200 cedis. Head of Public Affairs at SNIT, Eve Amegashi, explains.
Almost everybody's pension is different. So you cannot say that everybody's pension is gone up by this. The minimum pension that was for 2013 was 100 Ghana cedis. So if you were on 100 Ghana cedis, now we are going to add 10 Ghana cedis to it. Then we're going to add the 9 cedis to it. So now you are not going to collect 100 Ghana cedis again. You are going to collect 119 point, what is the Ghana cedis?
Janet Eseko is a pensioner and the women's organizer for the National Pensioners Association. She received the news via a phone conversation with the General Secretary of the association and reacts excitedly seeing the press release.
That is fantastic. Last year, 2013, it went up to 100, from 52 to 100, and we're so happy about it. So if it has jumped from 100 to 200 cedis in 2014, we are just grateful. You know, still 200 is not much, but 100% increments is just wonderful. We hope 2015 will get another 100%.
Pensioners have over the years complained about meager allowances from the National Pension Administrator, SNIT. Thus, the increment in pension allowances brings a great sigh of relief. She said this will be a major push-up in meeting their health needs in particular and also better their standards of living.
Here with the National Health Insurance, they don't deal with some of the old age problems, like the what we call shomoba in. So we decided to have the health scheme to help all our people. But our people, some of our people were kicking up against it. The way they don't want to belong to it and so on. But I think even with this increment, all the people will join us.
On the renewal of life certificates, pensioners 72 years and above will henceforth renew their life certificate with SNIT once every 3 years. The head of public affairs at SNIT, Eve Amegashi, further explains the rationale.
Life certificate is a document that pensioners complete after age 72 to ascertain whether the pensioner is still around. They were doing it twice a year, but we realized the inconveniences that we were causing the pensioners. So we want to go to them, not them coming to us. We want to go to them. So now, if they do feel like going to our branch to go and complete the form, yes, but they are not obliged to. We want to go to them to complete the form.
That is good news for old people. There were times somebody had to be taken in a wheelbarrow from his house to the bank. So if somebody is asked to stay at home for the money to be taken to him, I think it's a laudable idea.
The process, which started today, is expected to further ease the burden on pensioners, many of whose bones are obviously too weak to move around. Joy News will monitor its progress and bring you some update. For Joy News, Kifty Andopia, Accra.
On the first day of trading for the year 2014, 2nd January, that is, Ghana Stock Exchange saw shares trade 77,002. Market capitalization of the Ghana Stock Exchange as of same day was 61,158.29 million Ghana cedis. And David Odoidankwa, who is researcher at the Gold Coast Fund Management Limited, is here with us. We'll try and understand what all of these mean. In fact, we want to know how 2013 fared as far as the GSE is concerned. Thank you very much, David. Happy New Year.
Yeah, many returns.
It's good to see you again.
It's my pleasure being here.
Let's talk stocks and 2013. Overview.
The stock market in 2013, I believe, was good, especially when you are doing a year-on-year analysis that is comparing the year to other years. I mean, if you compare 2013 to the other years, 2010, 2011, 2012, up to 2009, you can see it's one of the most yielding, how do we put it, one of the most yielding years for the stock market. So looking at it, the stock market did very well. And comparing it to some other stock exchanges in the sub-region, I would say, if you're comparing to the sub-region, then I would say we are doing very well. That is West Africa that we are doing well. But Africa as a whole, I think the Joburg stock exchange, and there are some other stock exchange which are really doing better. And I think what we did last year is a platform for us to just build on it, because previously we had the market going up and down, but last year was a very good. I mean, the first quarter of the year, we saw the stock market yielding so much. The second half was also yielding. But when we entered into the third quarter, getting down, the market started slowing down. And that we said a lot of people were trying to cash out their profit on the stock exchange. And that caused the market being volatile. And that went through till we closed the year 2013. Because we have some stocks like PZ, EGL, CAR, and MLC.
PZ came up tops in terms of dividend for 2013.
In terms of returns, the returns. It made about 338.89%. You know, that is huge returns that it makes to some of its investors. And we had EG also following with about 291. In fact, we had about say 9 stocks making more than 100% for their investors. So you can see the stock market did well. Notwithstanding, we have stocks like the GLD, that is the exchange fund. We had the Tally, we have Transor and PBC also making some negatives.
Which ones should we look out for in 2014?
In 2014, I will still give up to some of the financial stocks, because the manufacturing, we don't know how the economy is also going to be, especially with our power prices and stuff. It affects them much. But there are some stocks, I will still give EGL, I will give PZ, I will give CAR a chance, because they still have the potential. If you analyze them, SCB and most of the financial stocks, they have the potential to yield so much to investors. But as we are saying in our forecast, and all these will be dependent on how the economy is going to be. For instance, yesterday we saw that was the first trading of the Ghana Stock Exchange, and something funny happened on the stock market. You know, the capitalization maintained same as you said earlier on. This because no stock moved its price on the stock market, and the returns were 0.0. That is the Ghana cedi return. But looking at the dollar, you will see that the return has already recorded a depreciation of about 2.19. That was the depreciation of the Ghana cedi on the Ghana interbank market. So that you see, when we have such macroeconomic indicators, I mean, affecting the stock market that much. Because if somebody is preparing to come, already seeing about 2-point-something% depreciation on the stock market, then he say, hey, then what is going to happen to this year? And even last year, when you look at some of the returns, you can see that the cedi depreciation took a lot more from the returns that investors were making. So I think we are saying some of the stocks are going to yield so much to investors, but this will also be dependent on how the economic indicators will go. Because of course, if the stocks are doing well and the economic indicators are not doing, it will prevent investors from coming onto the market to put in money on the stock market, and this is going to affect it.
But then all other things being equal, which includes the fact that we can assume that the economy will do better. It's just normal within this period that the stocks behave like that, because people have withdrawn, others have done a lot of things with their spending. It's just normal,
because, you know, a lot of investors are still on vacation. So even most of the trades that happened yesterday is basically those that put in their bids but couldn't get the buys or the sales in 2013. That has to be carried on to 2014. So most of investors are on break, and some will be coming back from Monday. So from Monday, they will be seeing a very we will see the actual performance of the stock market. But notwithstanding, whatever is happening on it day after day contributes to the performance of the stock market. So we need to also take it into consideration. But this shouldn't deter people from, because the stocks, we are predicting, if all things being equal, as we said, the stock market should be one of the most performing in Ghana and Africa.
Close of year, we saw the Central Securities Depository and the GSC Securities Depository Company Limited merge into a single entity. What sort of interpretation should we make into this as investors?
What I would say as investors is going to bring efficiency on the market. Now you will need just one account. You don't need from both entities. You need one account to just operate. And one thing too is going to bring synergy into the system and efficiency into the system, as they outline in their press release that was sent when they were doing the measure. And I think this is going to help the market to function well. But when we get to that time that the market is too big, I mean the stock market is too big, that is talking about the equity market is too big, and we have the one controlling the fixed deposits too that big, then I think that
because I'm thinking it puts everything into the hands of one person.
Yeah, and now you don't need to be running here and there to chase them.
But could it get overwhelming? I mean, like you said.
No, looking at the size of the market, I don't think it's going to get overwhelming, because they've really done feasibility studies, and they know the element that when they bring it, they can take. And I think it will bring a lot of synergy and efficiency in the system. So it's a good thing, and investors should be expecting more efficient stuff on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
First trading was 2nd of January, and today is 3rd. Is it too early to ask what we've seen?
It's not too early, but because, as I said, I mean, with stock market, day in and day out, every day what counts. But what we are saying, you can't just base on what you are seeing or the performance for just a day to judge how the stock market will behave, because we are forecasting the stock market to be yielding, to continue with it yielding, because yesterday it closed at flat, meaning no stock gain or loss. But we should be expecting something better on the stock market if all things are equal.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, David. David Odoidankwa is researcher at Gold Coast Fund Management Limited. Let's move on to some other stories now. Facebook is facing a class action lawsuit over allegations that it monitors users' private messages. The lawsuit claims that when users share a link to another website via a private message, Facebook scans it to a profile that sends a web activity. It alleges that Facebook systematically intercepts messages to mine user data and profits by sharing it with data aggregators, advertisers, and marketers. Facebook said the allegations were without merit. The lawsuit is claiming the greater of either $100 a day for each day of alleged violations, I beg your pardon, or $10,000 for each user, which would include me. You're watching Joynews Today, and I will be right back. Let's do some sports news now. And the president of League One stragglers, Valenciennes Jean-Raymond Legrand, has confirmed the club has agreed to sign Ghanaian attacker Majid Waris on loan until the end of the season from Russian outfits Spartak Moscow. The 22-year-old attacker played a role in Ghana's qualification efforts for this year's World Cup. According to Valenciennes' official website, the player will bring pace and power to the side attacking line. This is the first in a series of moves that Valenciennes are aiming to pull off during this January window, as they look to find the ammunition to propel themselves back up the League One table and out of the danger zone. FIFA President Sepp Blatter has proposed the use of a time penalty as a deterrent to diving in football. Blatter says he feels players who get treatment but are not badly injured should have to wait longer before rejoining play. He said he finds it deeply irritating when the half-dead player comes back to life as soon as they have left the pitch. Blatter, the head of the world football's governing body, added, in practical terms, it is a time penalty and it could cause play actors to rethink. Over the telephone now is international news analyst Ilbad Ibrahim. Hello, Ilbad.
Hello, Kimani. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year.
Same to you. Thanks.
Let's look at the South Sudan situation. The fact that fighting is still ongoing. At the point when representatives of both sides, President Salva Kiir and his former deputy Machar are in Ethiopia for talks. What should we expect from them? Would this yield anything at all?
Yeah, perhaps it will. After 3 weeks of intense skirmishes, the pendulum of victory on the battlefield seems to be swinging in both directions. The rebels have wrestled control of the city of Bor from the army. I think that will be an advantageous bargaining chip, if you like, for Riek Machar going forward into the current talk. He seems to be a savvy rebel leader, and in the past few days, he has rearranged the pawns on his chessboard of options to gain quite some traction in the ongoing conflict. He's managed to win the support of the family of independence fighter John Garang. By cozying up to the Garang family, who are Dinka, he seeks to debunk the notion that he's leading an ethnic Noah insurrection instead of a broad-based uprising against Salva Kiir's dictatorial inclination. So the current talks are good, and perhaps the prospects would be good. Riek has stated without any equivocation that he will not accept anything short of an abdication by Salva Kiir. So assuming such an entrenched posture will, with recent gains on the battlefield, will give him an edge over Salva Kiir, so that at the end of the day, what he wishes for is a unity government, similar to the one we saw in Kenya in 2008 between Raila Odinga and Mwai Kibaki. And so it's an opportunity for him to resuscitate an otherwise moribund political life. So the best outcome of the talk, Kebeni, would be the brokerage of a power-sharing agreement, and the worst would be a walkout by both parties if mutual concessions are not far-reaching enough. We just wish them the best and hope for the former. But if the latter happens, I'm sure the UN Security Council would likely change the mandate of the peacekeeping forces to impose a ceasefire by force. Yoweri Museveni of Uganda has already given a hint of his preparedness to deploy troops into the country.
Thank you very much, Elbad. Elbad Ibrahim is an international news analyst. We've been talking the situation in South Sudan, even as representatives of President Salva Kiir and his former deputy Riek Machar meet in Ethiopia for talks. Fighting is heavily ongoing in that country. Move on quickly to showbiz, where The Bachelors, a movie by Venus Film, has been premiered in Accra. The movie tells the story of bachelors and bachelorettes and the struggles they have to put up with. It becomes the first Ghanaian movie to be premiered in 2014.
My grad is supposed to be here by now. Maybe they are caught up in traffic or their cars would just not start.
The movie, which features actors like Yvonne Nelson, Eddie Watson, Lowen, Nanama McBrown, BBA star Elikem, among others, tells the story of three friends who are all dated by one man.
Why don't you come in for a drink and also get to meet my friends?
Not today, Pam. I've got a series of meetings with some clients and I'm already running late. Maybe some other time.
Now that you have time off your busy schedule, why don't you at least come to know my house?
No, baby, I really need to be somewhere the next 30 minutes. And you know it's almost rush hour. I really need to beat that traffic. I promise I'll make it up to you, okay?
I want you to meet my friends, Pamela and Linda.
I'm sorry, honey. I couldn't see those friends of yours today.
Oh.
I just got a call from the hospital by my cousin who was involved in an accident.
No. I'm so sorry. I hope it's nothing serious.
But from what I hear, it really is. Internal bleeding, a couple of broken bones. Yeah, massive, serious.
Oh.
But look, I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Lunch or dinner?
Dinner, darling.
I'll bring your favorite bottle of wine.
And I'll have all your favorite paintings.
The movie also depicts the deceit he takes them through and how some bachelors play around many women. In the end, they all have a price to pay for their actions. Actor Lowen makes his debut appearance in an English movie with Yvonne Nelson and Jackie Appiah. The director of The Bachelors, Pascal Amanfo, recounts his experience directing Lowen for the first time.
I think that the challenge was the blend. We're trying to fuse the Lowen style of comedy into the whole plot. And of course, Ellie came fresh from Big Brother, trying to see Hannes' acting talent. He's not a bad actor too. I think he did well. given the time he had and the stress we had on set to get him through. All in all, I think there were very regular challenges you face from time to time.
Our headlines for this are: health experts express worry men between 20 and 30 years are increasingly prone to erectile dysfunction. FIFA President Sepp Blatter proposes to use overtime penalty as a deterrent to diving in football. That'll be all for now. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. My name is Kimini Nyamani. Amana, goodbye. Enjoy the rest of our programs.